What up, world? It's your man Dream with Dream Motivates. Welcome again to another amazing episode of YBME Podcast. Listen, this episode is for everybody who has ever had a mental breakthrough. This is a very important episode for you to share, like, and definitely comment if you've also had a breakthrough in this particular comment itself. Shout out to everybody that's supporting YBME. Now, let's get to the episode. What up, y'all? We are here at episode 2. Congratulations, guys. How y'all feeling, twins?
Woo, geez whiz. I'm feeling good.
Listen, that first episode, y'all did that.
Like, it was emotional.
Shout out to all the
fun,
comments.
yeah.
Shout out to everybody that's just been showing love.
The listeners,
Yes,
yeah.
Shout out to everybody asking about the studio. I had to wear the Dream Media joint. Yeah, we right here. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for just liking, sharing, and continue to subscribe. And yeah, this one's I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this one,
Yeah.
guys. We're right here. In every episode, we're going to talk about a different subject.
Yes.
And thank you, G, for lining this up for us. And definitely you're responsible for that. I just think it's super important for this episode, for you to kind of spearhead it off and just kind of give us direction. But today we'll talk about, our mental breakthroughs. I think everybody's been through them. Hopefully, if you haven't, hopefully we pray that you do get through them. And hopefully this episode can help us all, just say thank you, God, that we got through that thing.
That's right.
And we continue to grow from here. So,
Yeah.
take it away, G.
Yeah, no, listen, again, when my sister and I decided we wanted to do this podcast, there were, my question to her was like, well, what are we going to talk about? And when we sat down and reflected on a lot of our past challenges or obstacles, whatever we want to call them, one of the things that kept sticking out was mental health, especially with me personally, just dealing with it. Now, let's go back. Keep in mind, growing up, we were not taught to have feelings. We were taught to, because I said so, you don't get to have a voice, right? And so I raised my children the similar way. You do what I say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I didn't have the most comforting relationship. I tried, but I was doing the best that I knew from what I was taught. And with being a young mom, I was raising a baby. Here I am, a baby raising another baby, honestly. So I was learning a lot about myself still. And again, mental health was just never talked about in our household.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it slapped me, I wouldn't know how to recognize it.
How to identify.
Yeah. And so I told Fee, I was like, I want to share my story in regards to mental health when it pertained to my own relationship with my son. Because when I reflect, my son and I are distant right now, but when I've had to do some self-reflection from the things that he has shared where I may have missed it. And when I reflect, and at one point I would beat myself up about it because why didn't I? He was asking for help then. He was probably like 12 or and you're going to be okay, And so I just thought that you get over it. The blessing is that I had my sister growing up. So she was my outlet or my, I guess, soundboard. But my son, being the only child at the time, he didn't have anyone. And when he tried to reach out to me and share how he was feeling, I suppressed it.
Yeah.
And I had insurance. I could have easily gotten help. But he had a moment. And he says, Mom, I need to go talk to somebody. And I'm just like, about what? And he's like, I just need to talk to somebody. And what I didn't know is that even at a very young age, he already felt like he didn't belong in this world. Me as a mother, not really understanding what that meant. But as I've gotten older and some of the things that have happened, he struggled with belonging. he really has struggled with belonging and not feeling like he was good enough. And I was so hard on him about education. I went to school and we talked about my degrees. That was what was important to me. So no, you're going to, that's the plan. You go to school just like I did. And I was paving his road for him, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And he was, I guess, for so long just trying to please me by following my path.
Yeah.
And I never took the time to ask him, what do you want to do?
Wow.
And so,
So I love my sister so much because when I watch her with her girls, she's allowed them to fly.
you have to.
Yeah. And so for me, it's like you cross your T's, you dot, you're doing this. Everything had it was a plan for my son to have a better life than me. And I got so lost in that. And, I think for me, this conversation just really hits home for me because I just want parents to know, like, be engaged with their kids, have those tough conversations. Ask them are they okay. Just like when you're in a relationship, you would like your significant other to ask you, how was your day?
Yeah.
It's the little things, right? Just be present. I know it's really hard because technology has really, really taken over. But just be present. My 10-year-old, who I'm looking at him a lot different than I looked at my first son because I don't want to compare all my kids. But kids are getting so wrapped up in technology where I don't even know if they understand what's real and what's not real.
Correct.
And so it's scary. Today's world with technology is really scary for me.
Yeah.
They don't know how to cope.
Yeah.
Even though I may take his tablet or cell phone away, there's still that anger in him. He's my young son, he's so competitive. But my fear is that he's going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person and someone's going to snap on him, right? I watched some videos or movies on TV where online someone has access or gains access to your IP address and they know where you live and they've shot the wrong people, the wrong house.
Yeah.
I think about that because that's how easy and connected we are with technology. Just you say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And so I say this, mental health is real among our kids.
It's real.
And even adults. And I'll let my sister elaborate on that, but I'm speaking more from my heart for these kids, for just this world to be a better place.
Yeah.
And just pay attention.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that. I think it's dope. And Fee, I want you to tell me. I'm just speaking from a father perspective.
Yeah.
That's the only perspective I have, right?
Absolutely.
So shout out to both my children, JC, Styles, Jada. She's her own entrepreneur. And it makes me super proud because I'm an entrepreneur coach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for my children to be working at, no disrespect to anybody who works at Walmart, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She got on
You're an entrepreneur coach. Why your daughter? I can hear that. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to my son. He has his own YouTube page.
Yeah.
And I think going through all the trauma that I went through growing up, and I shared that with y'all a little bit of how I grew up, I think it can make you either a worse parent or a better parent. I think you have to make the decision because what I like about Fee is that she's note to self. Me and her is like note to self. I'm not having cockroaches ever.
Yeah.
Note to self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna have the lights off.
Yeah.
Ever. Note to self. My son, I bought my son. Matter of fact, I got him on today. Actually, I got him the Concrete 4s, which these are my favorite tennis shoes in the world. But I bought them these shoes because I used to draw these shoes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
The Jordan 4s, I used to draw them because I wanted them so bad.
Oh, wow.
And the kids used to just talk about me because I didn't have nothing. I had on Pro Wings, you know what I'm saying? So, and I bought him a pair of shoes before he even came out. And I remember that's the first thing I ever bought him.
Yeah.
A pair of shoes. And I listened to him the other day, and for your son, I think you should do this. If he's not, I put him in baseball. I put him in sports. Sport, like an active, you get your butt out there. I don't care which one, figure it out. Because sports, it's just going to be interactive. It's going to teach you something. So my son is very competitive, and if he strikes out, he had this thing where he would cry on the way back to the bay.
Mm-hmm. Disappointing himself.
I mean, he's just so hard on himself. And for one, I acknowledge that. I like that, because a lot of them kids didn't care. He was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are adults, but I feel like what an adult is we're really kids that have to tell each other, we're grown, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can't do that no more, right? And when I am in a losing situation, I'm not going to cry tears, but in my mind, I'm like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like we just got finished doing just now. You see what I did? I'm like, no, we're not. You need to come over here.
Yeah.
And I said to him, and back to your emotions, after the game, I said, hey, son, come here. I said, you had a great game, bro. He said, thank you, Dad. I said, let me ask you a question. When you were crying, I see, you got to understand, because my stepfather was, shut up, you don't cry, just put your, just like, bro, that don't work.
Yeah.
Put your right, nobody, man, you don't work. That don't work, man. You know what I mean? I'm a grown man, I'm going to cry. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I asked him, and then he had this weird look like, dang, Daddy, right. And I said, son, let me ask you a question. And it was just me and him, no front street, just me and my son. He's 7 at the time. And I'm looking at him. I'm coming down to him, and I give him a hug. I'm like, bro, you had a great game, bro. Mm-hmm. You did that. Mm-hmm. I said, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
I said, no, man, look. And I replayed. I said, man, look at this one. Mm-hmm. See right here when you hit it, and then boom, 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 you went all the way around. You're like, oh, yeah.
Let's celebrate the good thing.
I said, I said, you see this right here? Mm-hmm. You did this, that. Whoa. I said, but look, I'm going to show you this right here. You see what happened right here?
Yeah.
When you went to go cry, I said, now I need you to answer this question. I said, when you went back in there to cry, did that fix or did that make or correct anything? Did that change anything? I said, he looked at me like, I said, no, really, like, did it help? Did it change anything?
Yeah.
He said, no. I said, that's why it wasn't meant for you to do that. I said, what I want you to do is, I understand you're gonna cry sometimes, but in sports, you ain't gonna hit home runs every time. So.
Yeah. Yep.
And guess what? In life,
you're not.
You're not gonna hit home runs every time, son.
That's right.
So you can't be afraid to. Long as you swinging, you good.
Yep.
I said, son, in life, as long as you keep on swinging, you gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But just because you strike out.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's over, because you got another. Guess why? I say, look, after you struck out, you went back up and you hit and you got into third base.
You get another chance at it. Keep
you
it going.
get another chance to swing.
You know, Felicia has done a great Felicia. She's done a great job by helping me coach Tris. And when I say this, my youngest one, he's competitive, he's in sports, but where I've had to acknowledge is I created that. I'm the athlete. I'm competitive. I always want to win. So all he's ever heard me was, you've got to be you've got to get out there and be the best that you can be. So I'm his number one cheerleader. Yeah. There is no daddy always there. I'm going to always be there. Yeah. And my sister had to bring it to my attention and say, gee, you're the one that created, you have expectations of him, and he feels that. Or something like that. And I thought to myself, shit.
Yeah, you created that.
She's right. Because he feels like he has to live. But
that's still good, though.
It's good to be competitive, but at what cost, right?
Right.
When you start being an asshole on the field or on the court,
there you go.
Then you're doing too much. Yeah. And so my sister had to just call a spade, where I had to say, look, you want to be the best. There's somebody better out there. Yeah. Now, either you go out there and you do what you're good at, and play as a team, because if it was an eye sport, you'd be playing tennis. This is a team sport. Yeah, you have to have good sportsmanship, and so he does. But he's to your son's what your son go. He doesn't like to be defeated, but who does, right? But it's life.
It's learning how to process
coping.
This is the thing I feel like where we all need to understand when it comes to mental health. And I'm not no psychiatrist. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm never going to be. Thank God for the people that do.
Yeah.
Or therapists or whatever. But I think mental health has a lot to do with, like, I mean, not trying to do a plug, but the name of my book I'm writing is called Out Earn the Problem.
Mm-hmm.
And in this book, I'm identifying that there will be problems.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you out earn it? Like, so I think when you're in the mental state, you're trying to rewind how you could, the things you should have done. Why am I in this place? Why
Like
am I
trying
in
to
this place?
get to the root of it. Like, why am I acting like this? What is causing this?
I
What
should have
triggers
done this.
it?
I should have been here. I should have done this. That is going to drive you
crazy.
You cannot change.
Yeah.
You cannot change that. The only thing you have control is what you do right now.
Yeah.
Understand, do not let the things that you can't control you.
That's right.
And so what I teach my son and my daughter, and anybody that's listening, you can't control if it rains today and it's raining. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If it's raining, it's rain. Bruh, get an umbrella.
Yeah.
And just figure it out. Walk, breathe.
Take a break, walk away.
And just say, you know what? This probably happened for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I had to learn this way. God had me to learn. So you went through everything you went through.
Yeah.
So now, look at you today.
Yeah.
Helping other people to learn what you learned. And some people had to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
God just chose you.
Yeah.
That's all that was.
I agree with that. I agree. I totally.
And everybody ain't strong enough to go through that.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about breakthroughs, not broken.
Yeah.
You were not broken. You broke through.
That's right.
But sometimes
why
you
it's
have
so
to go, but sometimes you have to be broken to get to your breakthrough.
That's true.
You know, you have to feel broken. You know, sometimes when you're to the
Bottom of the barrel.
bottom of the barrel is when you literally are like,
It's a dark place.
Jesus, take the wheel. You know, and you have to, it's a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark place.
Man, my favorite, I'm telling you, if I ever just feel like I'm on one, man, that Rocky Balboa movie, dog, that first one.
Get what?
Rocky.
Rocky Balboa movie.
Rocky.
When my man was all the way down and he was busted up, all he had to do was look up and he seen his girl. He was busted up. And he seen his girl and he still got up. He didn't break all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He broke through.
Yeah.
And I think the first Rocky it was a tie. It was and so he had to go back in Rocky 2, which was dope.
So you can't
as well.
keep quoting movies because I don't watch movies like that. Do you
Oh,
watch
you
movies
gotta
like
watch it. Rocky.
I don't watch
man.
movies like that, but I feel like
you gotta watch Rocky.
that? I literally just watched Friday.
What?
so when she gets to a dark place, she thinks about Smokey.
Shut up.
Smoking? No, we gotta watch Rocky. We gotta watch.
I
You
may
never
have
watched
watched.
no Rockies?
I may have watched it. I just don't remember. I don't retain a lot of
Listen,
memories. If it didn't have an
listen.
impact.
Sylvester,
on me-
is it Sylvester Stallone?
Yes.
I know,
Rocky.
I know it's Sylvester Stallone, but I remember maybe him running up some stairs or something.
Yes,
Yeah, he's training for it.
Listen,
He had on the
now
great
what's-
joggers.
What I love about it, oh Lord, what I love about it is you won't look at it the same no more.
Yeah, and
After
them
the
great
great
joggers.
High five.
We're sorry.
I'm kidding.
Welcome to the YBME podcast, where your
Shout out to
mental
the
breakthrough. But no, it's such a. But he went through adversity and he just. But
Yeah.
Rocky is a deep thinker.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, I'm sorry, he's just I love him. Like he's just like as a producer, where he gets like in his story of how he got to do that movie. Oh man,
Yeah.
everybody turned him down. Nobody's like, man, nobody wanted to hear no movie. So he couldn't even afford an A-lister actor. So
Really?
he became his own actor.
Wow.
So the story is just amazing. Shout out to him.
That's awesome.
But the movie just shows that he didn't give up.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with people or challenge with people, and I want to hear what you had to say about that, because coming from the military and being here and going back and forth in your mind,
Yeah.
I think that challenge is how to hack understanding that I'm here now. I'm not there. I had to go through what I went through so I can become. And then accept it and just become this super human, amazing, anointed person that helps people get through everybody like you do. I mean,
Thank you for
I've
that.
witnessed you do it several times. I'll be sitting there like,
I appreciate the
yo,
love.
she's just
This
like,
guy. No, I
she's just a
appreciate the
whole
love.
situation. And it's because of all the stuff that you went through. So
Yeah.
from people that's probably either y'all in the military or have family members that went to the military.
Yeah. So I can attest, mental health, we all know is real. I'm a statistic in the military. We probably all have some kind of mental health issues. I'm speaking about mine today. I know that, once I had my diagnosis and was medically boarded, I retired at 17 or 16 years and 10 months. But through that journey, I was diagnosed with PTSD and among some other things. And some of the PTSD symptoms or whatnot were not just streamlined from the military. It was actually in my relationships outside of the military and some within the military. But I will just say that I've gone to a 30-day treatment. I just stop. I just want to stop all the triggers, the feelings, the erratic emotions. Some of them felt uncontrollable. From being this peaceful person or loving person that I am in this moment, I was not that. I was a paralegal. I transitioned, and what had happened was I was deployed and I had to retrain into another career field because what we call, in the military, they call it force shaping. They have too many individuals or too many soldiers or airmen in one particular career field. They need to move them around, right?
Switch around.
Switch them around. So we get options of choosing where we want to go. I chose paralegal because I really wanted to help people. And I remember going through my first divorce, and was so scared of the jargon. I filed my own paperwork. I filed my own case. I mean, I literally would get consultation. And I remember this attorney was like, "Sweetheart, you don't need me. You've got everything. You're detailed. You have everything you need. You can represent yourself." So last name was Anderson. I see her face, but Lynn Anderson was the attorney in Phoenix, Arizona, and she was like, "You can represent yourself. I'll give you the tools." And so I represented myself. I won my case. I got everything I wanted. I was able to take my kids to Germany. But I say that to say that through my journey, being the lovable person that I am today, that I feel I'm filled with love. Back then, it was a dark space for me. I now can say I knew what it was like to hug someone and not feel warmth. And I know what it was like to look in the mirror and not see beyond just a person that had PT tests. I had to do, it was a different world. It was just a different world. So outside of the military, like I said, I don't know when 2017 was that like...
Felicia got to a point where Fee was taking a lot of medication.
Oh my goodness.
Where she was not who she was supposed to be. And my nieces would call just scared. And I remember, and this is when you were coming out.
About almost a year and a half before I got out, yeah.
And I remember going down there because I was concerned for my nieces, and she had just had, Zay wasn't that little. He was probably, what, 2, 3?
Well, so let me say this. She's right. All that was happening, my career field was going to a paralegal. And as much as I was wanting to help people, I was non-commissioned officer in charge of the military justice area, which is all of our criminal activity.
Yeah.
And so because I was the lead, I would get a lot of cases, and instead of me being able to just read what the documents were, or what the cases were about, I have a problem with putting myself into the victim's story. And so it was taking a toll on me, because when I didn't see justice, or, because it's like babies and dying, and it just all kinds of things, or domestic abuse, whether it was a man or the woman, and me taking, it was hard for me to process as that is their story
And not be emotional.
That's not, without being emotional tied.
Yeah.
And so I was a whirlwind, because then I didn't know what was right, what was wrong, and it was just, and then because I had my own personal experiences.
You know what? I don't know if you ever had anybody tell you this, but God just told me to tell you something. You're an empath.
I'm a what?
You're an empath.
What does that mean?
That's crazy. You don't even know what that is, but that's what you are, which is a beautiful thing. It's like everybody's not this person. I know because I am one, but I don't really speak out on it because I didn't know what it was until this lady broke it down to me. She's like, "Whoa, you're an empath." I asked the same thing. You are able to go into a person and feel what they feel
And internalize. Fee,
You literally can go in there.
what did you learn when we were on our trip? You're a healer.
Yeah, you have you know a lot of people just whatever, and
No,
I be
not
like,
Fee.
so I don't like I don't watch scary movies.
I don't like scary movies.
See,
I don't play with
Empaths
anything
don't
like that.
because we're in there. We're in the movie. We're in there with Freddy Krueger and all y'all. So we ain't trying to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't watch scary movies. I like good feels. You know, like
Yeah.
okay, cool. Or even like I like Casino. I like the movies where they hustling and they made some
I'll
money.
watch action all day long.
Yeah, me
but I
too.
don't do no horror.
Yeah, me neither.
no.
Fee, I wanted to
Empaths don't do that.
just say one thing really quick, because when you talk about PTSD, for some of us, for civilians, as I'm a civilian and you are now, we have it misconstrued because we assume, I'm sure I'm speaking for many of us, that PTSD was only associated to military or to somebody who's gone off to war, right? That was
Yeah,
like
break it
the
down, like-
perception, right? But from talking to you and understanding more of what that is, we all can suffer, whether it's military or just
Yeah.
civilian life. What post-traumatic, what is it, syndrome disorder?
Yeah, post-traumatic. Yep.
Anybody can suffer from a trigger, where they were involved in a traumatic experience, right?
So yeah, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is just one that encompasses pretty much these other symptoms: anxiety, depression. So those are the two that I have. Hello, yeah. Anxiety, depression, and there's some other things, but those are the ones that we keyed in on my treatment. But in the military, I thought that was just something that we would go through until I got out into the civilian sector, and then I'm like, just talking to people, and when they talk about the word, they would say, just through conversation, stop playing with me. You know how that makes me feel. So it's a trigger. But in my vocabulary, we would use the word trigger. And someone else's vocabulary, like, keep playing. You keep doing this, that bothers me.
Yeah.
It's a trigger. And then when someone would talk about anniversary dates, and I go, well, what happens on an anniversary date? And they were just like, it's the same thing every year.
Yeah.
I go into, isolate, and I go,
real. Wow.
oh. So I'm like, it's kind of the same thing I was doing. I just didn't know that that's what we call it. So again, there's a lot of different words that are interchangeable that it can happen to anybody. It can happen to kids. Sexual assault. I mean, an emotion is an emotion. When you become, your body almost has an out of body experience of an emotion that you don't know how to cope with that emotion, whether you fight or freeze. It's
your body locking it.
It's a process. You gotta work. I chose to work through it. No, I can't say you have to work through it. I chose to try to work through it because I'm telling you, I'm still a work in progress. I'm well aware. I'm aware, but it's like literally like Donkey says on Shrek. It's peeling an onion back and finding the root cause and layers. And it's like when you think you've found it, sheesh, it's more to it. And you just keep going and keep going. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But I have my support system. We haven't always agreed on things. But at the end of the day, I know she's got my back.
At 2017, what can you reflect on what exactly, or maybe you've seen it too, what was going on, like to where you had to be so medicated?
So I was being medicated because of I had a lot of, because of the casework load that I was getting. So I was going through a divorce with my second marriage.
Okay,
I had just had my son. He was a couple of weeks old.
Oh, wow.
His dad comes, and it's just daddy time. But I mean, he didn't have to leave the base. But for me, that was an attachment. And I had never given a baby to a man, and it'd only be weeks old.
Got you.
And it was just a lot of moving pieces.
All at the same time.
And it just, and then I had to go to school. And I think he was maybe 3 months old. So I had to go to school for like 8 weeks. And then when I got down there, they turned me away. They turned me back. I mean, it was just a lot of moving pieces, emotions that I had never coped with.
So you're going through all these things.
By myself.
Like I was telling this the sisters that was here earlier. Nobody gave us, and that's why, Lord, I appreciate you, God. Thank you. But nobody gave us parent school.
Right.
Hey, before you have a child, you should go to parent school so you can learn how to be a parent. Nobody gave us financial literacy school.
Oh,
Right.
They should have done that, like
Yeah.
setting us up for failure. And nobody gave us relationship school. Like, how do you, and so then nobody had entrepreneur school. So that's why I want to create what I wish I had. Like, how do
Yeah.
you start
Yeah.
the business? How do you
Yeah.
cultivate? And for you, all those things came at one time, and you were just like probably at a blank.
Remember how we talked on a previous on the first episode when I talked about when Gina left and it was just me. My daughters were with their dad, my son was with his dad, and he was only a baby. And the only thing, I didn't have anything to talk to cry with, to hold tight.
Oh, and you say you got real good with spiritually.
Yeah, but in that moment, being in the office, being in the legal office, it was going against my judgment of life, of character, of my morals. And it was a lot of friction. I would call her every morning trying to listen to gossip, crying, just,
Wow.
but I was medicated because of stress.
Yeah.
And it was like a domino effect. It was my migraines, my back, my feet,
Everything.
everything
It's
was
mentally
just-
taking
was
over her
just
body.
tightened.
Literally.
I mean, just they had me on freaking Percocet. And I told my boss, I was like, sir, they have me on half days. Like, oh, nope, you'll be here. We're having office of the year inspection, whatever the heck was going on. There was a lot of things that were asked of me that I thought that wasn't normal, but I did it on Percocet, and you just keep it going, right?
Yeah.
And I remember going in for another therapy session, and my doctor was like, I had had enough. I was getting to a point where it was becoming a really bad space for me.
Yeah.
Where like mental health, you can't think anything, pin drop, just, oh man, it was crazy. So I'm gonna live a testimony. I was aware of it. I was scared of it. I was scared of where I was going when I got to that point on medication. It was nonstop to where I became able to be present, but not present. Even when I go home with my kids, they would tell her,
scary.
like, when I open the door, my keys would shake in the door. They didn't know what kind of day I had, so they were scared of me.
Wow.
And it would just be that kind of world. I mean, I don't know how long it had been, but then I remember going in for I think I'd been in treatment for about 6 months, and then things had just gotten to a breaking point for me in my environment. And I asked, was there some treatment? And she was like, I'm so thankful you asked because I need you to go. You need to go. And I was just like, that day, where do I sign?
Yeah.
Didn't care. My kids, I was like, when do I go? Where do I go? I called her, G, they've got something in Denton. And we were in Arkansas.
Wow.
I said, G, there's some in Denton.
She brought the kids
can you
to
keep
me.
Wow.
And I kept
And it
the
happened
kids.
the week
Wow.
after, a couple days later, I was out of my job in a 30-day
She was here.
treatment. And my gosh,
That
It
was
was
I think that
most
was another
rewarding.
That was
another
that was the
breakthrough for her.
breakthrough.
Another
that was
breakthrough
my
there.
breakthrough,
What?
man.
Look, if you don't mind, can you take us there just a little bit? I know
Yeah.
that was your special
Yeah.
place, but what was your takeaways from that 30-day treatment?
I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone, and that everybody has their own story. And that is when I learned to allow people to have their own story, and embrace that. Listen,
Yeah.
be in the moment, because that's all. And peer-to-peer therapy trumps everything. It's not about me talking to a doctor. It was healing because I was with someone that had gone through trauma.
Yes.
And we were just getting through it together. And so and some people, I mean, it's not you go to treatment and you're fixed forever. No, it's not like
work.
that. You've got people that go back. I mean, my goodness. Again, when you go to treatment, it's how far you want to pull that onion back. I mean, but at the end of the day, for me, I felt better. I won't say I felt better. I felt more aware. I had more awareness
Yeah.
of what I was going through, what my brain did, and all the
Which
chemical.
makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Because now you know
Right.
where you at.
And I to the point where I didn't want to leave.
I love the fact that you said peer to peer, because my thing with, no disrespect to, I know some amazing therapists.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I know some amazing psychologists,
Yep.
and I thank y'all, for that. But I got a thing about paying somebody to listen to me that may or may not be an empath, may or may not care, and you just here for a check. I just had this thing in my head, but I think it hits different when I be like, when anytime I ever talk about losing my mother to somebody who also lost their mother, we got this
connection.
Whoa. It happened to me yesterday. Man, y'all was leaving and the little guy that came through. Man, I understand. And then I met y'all, BJ. I was here giving him therapy right there. He's crying and everything. I'm showing him how to get through it because his mother took his life. His mother took her life. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
And he's just getting through it. Here I am. My mom just passed away, from the lung cancer, but it hits different when you can talk to somebody who's been through it. And for your breakthrough to be such an amazing, blissful moment for the way you wrote, you went back and you're like, yo, those 30 days, you needed that reset.
I did. I came out, my kids, my goodness, my sister would bring my kids to see me, and I was so excited to see them, but I wasn't excited to go back because I knew I would be going back into the fire. Right? And so, but I will say, we did the best we can, prepared myself for my transition out the best we can. But still, once I got out from the military perspective, that was another transitional mental health breakdown because when you're active duty, you're treated a different way than when you're retired or when you're out the service. It's not the same love. I'm going to just say that right now. It's not the same love.
Ain't no love.
There's no love, man.
Ain't
My
no
kids and I were
love,
like,
Trey.
well, sheesh. We on this phone holding on for, for days.
right.
Before when you're active duty, it's just the drop and dump, man. But, yeah. So she knows I moved here. Actually, when I retired, they came to my retirement ceremony, and I think I stayed there for maybe a couple of months,
probably a month or so, and then you're like, I'm moving there, and I'm like,
December.
Girl, stop.
I'll tell you what happened.
Showed
December of 2016, the ceremony, and then December 2016. And then by October of 2017, I just up and rooted my kids, and they hated me.
She said she was moving, and I'm like, yeah, right. And
they
she
hated
showed
me.
up.
My kids, they wouldn't help me move anything. They wanted. I said, okay, I got something for y'all. I went and got the U-Haul truck. I loaded everything in the U-Haul truck by myself.
Wow.
By myself. When you talk about strength coming overpowering, God make it out.
Boy.
I was like,
I'm out.
Bro, I'm out. My daughter went to spend the night. She came back. Where's my bed? Oh, we're leaving in the morning. I mean, they were
gone.
they were. I don't want to say they were pissed. They were just very sad. Like, Mom, we finally have friends. And again, being military kids were.
Yeah.
But we finally are like, what are you doing?
Stability.
And I,
Look, on that note, I've definitely got to come back to you. We got a commercial break. Shout out to all the sponsors that's been hanging out with us.
Yes.
Thank y'all for doing what y'all doing.
Yes.
And this sponsor right here, definitely got to pay attention to it. Check it out.
Hey guys, this is Fee, YBME. Hey, so we have our merch, y'all, out here. If y'all are interested in supporting us, we have the white camo and we have the black camo with YBME, and our slogan on it. So if y'all like what y'all see, make sure y'all go out there and support us. The purchases can be made on our website, YBME Family. Or y'all can DM us on our Instagram. We'll make sure we take care of you guys. Now back to the episode.
What up, world? Welcome back to YBME Podcast with your host with the most, Fiji. Shout out to Fiji Water, man. We need some of y'all. Come on, man. Come on.
Yes.
We're looking for y'all. But if not, we got the other Fiji up in here. Shout out to you.
That's right.
And today we're talking about mental health. And I just want to pause and say thank you to both of y'all for being transparent.
Absolutely.
I think that's helping us all just how to get through, especially with you, Fee. I know a lot of people in the military just don't talk about it.
They don't.
They just say, okay, I'm trying to forget about it as much as I can, but I don't really think you can forget. You can forgive, but you can't never forget. So use it as a superpower.
I feel like a lot of people are dismissed because of the stigma of mental health.
Yeah.
And whether it's in the military or in the civilian sector, we are all human beings, and we all have some sort of anxiety, depression. Just some may have it more severe than others, and it becomes too much where we don't know how to cope. And that's where we're asking for the help.
Yeah.
And once you're given tools, maybe that may not even be it again. So at the end of the day, I just say, hey, judgment-free zone here. And I pray it's out there as well.
Definitely.
And love one, just love one another.
We all were
don't
created
know.
different.
Yeah.
We all bring something unique to the table. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we have introverts, extroverts, we've got loud, we've got soft spoken, we've got everything, right? If God wanted us to be created literally equal, then we would
Or the
all
same,
look like
the
each
same,
other,
right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We all have something special. And if hope one day we will be such a beautiful community world where we just love unconditionally
Yeah.
and stop passing judgment. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we are missing out on great relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all God's people, whether we like it or not. We are all God's people.
And I think, just when I talk to people, and I praise God for just the mental strength.
Yes.
Because when I talk to people about the things that I went through, they look at me like, bro, how do you, what? You know what I
Strength,
mean?
yeah.
And I think it's therapeutic for me to help people that went,
Tell your story, yes.
yeah, I got it. Like,
because
bro,
it resonates.
let me tell you. You
Yeah.
think somebody wish they had your problems, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That
ever
part.
complaining?
Yes.
Somebody wish they had your problems. Let me tell you something. There's somebody
Yeah.
with no legs, bro.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And you tripping.
Yeah.
You can't even, there's somebody with no arms. You complaining. There's somebody on
Yeah.
a breathing machine. and you
Somebody didn't wake
complaining.
up.
Somebody didn't wake up today.
That's
You're
right.
up. You're able
Yep.
to be up. You know what I'm saying? Think
Yeah.
about, like I told my
Positive.
son, like, look at what you did.
Yeah.
You're here now. And so I think with the anxiety and depression, if we could tell somebody to help them, I think one of the things to help them would be, I would tell them, is to focus on the future, not the past. Focus, I think anxiety it keeps pressing the rewind button. Like you're rewind,
Because you're still reflecting
You
on
keep
what's
going
creating
back
that
to this
feeling.
one thing, but look at, cut that off if it's able. And maybe you can't cut it off, but that's still playing. But what about going forward? What does it look like now? What does YBME look like in 1 year from now? If you keep grinding the way you're grinding right now.
Yeah.
If you keep changing people's lives, it's almost like you won't even have time to even think about all that stuff that you went through.
So to piggyback on you with you. So I still have issues with alarms. When alarms go off, I freak out.
The trigger.
And exactly the scenario, I'm in the back of my head of something that happened in the past. And the only way that I have gotten past it, and then I say this from the last time before, whatever had happened. Only thing I can think, I called her, heard her voice, and as soon as she got the phone, because she had to click over, I went back to my spell. And then eventually she called me back. So for me, and unfortunately it is an attachment. Hearing her voice reminded me that I'm not there, I'm here. Because there I couldn't hear anything that I knew that was in my mind
Safe, yeah.
And so for me, when you talk about YBME, I know this is destined to be greatness in a way that we're going forward, not backwards. Because you know the story, if you guys see the first episode, we're going forward, not backwards.
Yes.
That's right.
There's no other way. I'm not going backwards. What I know now was only for a self improvement, to be a better version of me than I was yesterday, and so I choose not to go backwards. Do we have our hiccups? Yes, but that's okay. Get back up, and we're gonna keep going forward.
That's
But see,
right.
you said something
That's right.
powerful right there. And for y'all to rewind, make sure I'm not saying this the wrong way. But she said, I choose
That's
to.
right.
That is it. To make a decision
Yeah.
is a decision.
Yes.
You have to decide to become.
Yeah.
Once you really get this decision,
Yeah.
it's like the U-Haul thing.
Yeah.
I'm moving. Yeah.
She decided,
I'm moving.
I don't care if nobody helps me.
I'm moving.
And you probably could look back at that thing and look at it now and like, well, how did I do that?
Oh yeah.
And it's because you just made
The will.
a decision.
The will.
Just like this podcast,
Yeah.
just like the things that we did today, in the middle of this, just like anything else, to decide. So for people that's going through what they're going through, mentally, you got to decide to get out of it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You can't halfway
Yeah.
double dutch with this thing. You either going to do it. You either have a child or you don't.
That's right.
You either get up or you don't. You either walk or you don't. You either stand or you don't. You don't. You know, it's not kind of.
You become
stand.
victim or you persevere, right? You don't want to. You don't want to. When you become victimized in that space, you don't see the hope. You don't see the bigger picture because you're so in this bubble.
Yeah.
But when you want to persevere and you want, and you choose to do better, and you find ways to help yourself, then that's what you do. Whether it's surrounding yourself with other people, peers, or going for a walk.
I think it's baby
writing
steps.
something in a book,
Yeah,
getting a journal,
journaling.
writing it down. I know I've done that before. I didn't have a journal. I had my notepad on my cell phone, and it's crazy. I have notes that I wrote about 5 years ago in a relationship. And when I reflect, I don't even want to reflect on it, but when I saw it, I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes to the next topic we'll talk about, but just write it down.
Yeah.
Because when you actually go back to it, you're going to be like, wow.
And I like vlogging. I like.
Yeah.
I'm not the writer downer guy. Is that a word?
We
Is that a
talked
word?
about that.
Writer
It is
downer?
today. YBME.
I'm
Heard
just
it
not
first.
the writer downer.
Yeah.
You know, after 4 pages reading, I'm not that guy. But
Yeah.
you give me a visual
Yeah.
or you let me talk. Sometimes I've literally talked to you before, and I ain't gonna lie, cause me and this one, we be on one.
Yeah.
And I've literally said after we hung up, I'm like, wow, God, I can't believe that even came out of my mouth. But I could tell it wasn't me at
Yeah.
that second. That's why you can't suppress your voice.
That's right.
You know, take
Yep.
care of your voice.
Yep.
Everybody has a voice. Speak up.
Yep.
What do you want? Speak. Speak life
Yeah.
into your life.
That's right.
Speak life into somebody else's life. Speak. This is your voice.
That's right.
That's why this podcast, I don't play. This audio, I gotta hear it.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention. I'm like, yo, okay, vibrations.
Yeah.
And that's why when I this podcast is such a detrimental thing for me. That's why I'm so happy that y'all chose to do this, because that's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So there's this on that note of voices. There has been something inside of me in the community is called Silent Boots. And Silent Boots, it starts with, for me, it was with military members who didn't have a voice. I'll say it. I could give two shits. That's how I felt. I still feel that way. I'm here. I'm here speaking on it.
Yeah.
But when I was transitioning out of the military, it was like I was so infuriated of how people were treated once they have that stamp of mental health, right?
Yeah.
And so I looked at this community organization called Silent Boots, because if you don't want to talk about it, I will. I've had enough of it. And I've had enough of the labels.
So she wanted to start her nonprofit called Silent, or what was it? Silent Boots?
Silent Boots.
Okay.
Silent Boots.
And the meaning behind that was like she's explaining now, but I think she also learned that it was bigger than her.
It wasn't just
because
boots.
when she was transitioning out, they would make fun. They, meaning the place she was before, the base. She's psycho because she's at this
Okay,
getting
gotcha.
help,
You're just-
right?
yeah.
So you're stereotyped of being psychotic when you go
Yeah.
get help.
Yeah.
Is that right? No. And that is, I'm sure that's why people believe that there's an embarrassment. There's you're so worried about what the world's going to project on you versus your health and well-being, and so society has created that, and it's unfortunate.
And Dream, that's the transition where I was all about perception. That's what the military is
Gotcha.
about. It's about perception. Because if one person if you don't meet that, it's a perception thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you move up in ranks. Are you a good troop or a bad troop? If you're bad in any part of it, you're talked about. It's frowned upon. Or you
Gotcha.
won't go nowhere. I mean,
Gotcha.
I know it. My boss, I'm the reason why I couldn't go to the next rank. And I'm not bitter by far. I'm saying this is now my testimony and my blessing to be on this side versus
Yeah.
on that side.
Yeah, that
Thank
part.
you, Lord,
Sure.
100%. I'm so glad. Thank
Praise
you,
God.
VA. I'm so happy to be here. But and through that, going through the journey, the breakthroughs,
Yes.
it was, as I look back and we reflect, it's like breakthrough after breakthrough. The little baby ones became just little nuggets putting into my basket.
Yeah.
And here I am doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing.
You know,
Nah, it
one
ain't
of
no
her.
think. You, this is you,
But Dream, I want to say
you
this.
where you supposed to be at.
Yeah.
At this second, this moment, you
What-
right here.
Today,
I just want to say one more thing
No
because
doubt.
she missed this part. But we talked earlier about our relationship and how close we were. During this breakthrough that my sister was in this behavioral institute, I remember her apologizing. She was crying so hard and so bad when I went to go see her. And what is wrong? And she's like, I'm just so sorry. And I'm like, for what? Like, my sister was holding on to all this guilt for years of not being able to protect me.
Oh, my Lord.
wow.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Because she's always been my protector.
Yeah.
And she thought that the things that I was enduring or that I've gone through without her by me, some of it was her fault. And for her to take that and blame herself was hard for me. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I put myself in these positions. You know, that's a hard pill to swallow.
But see, it goes back. Think about it. Listen,
Yeah.
she puts herself
For
in. She went into you. Mm-hmm. She empath. She felt that you felt left alone, and she felt that, and that made her feel bad because she is the big sister, quote unquote.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how she's
protector.
made up.
Yeah.
That's how she's built. But the cool thing is what you're learning now is that really you're not God.
I'm not.
God is God by himself, man.
Far from it. I'm
He-
far from it.
Shout out to you being your big
Yes.
dog. Like I don't never want to. You got the. Hey, I'm just a soldier. Like
Yeah.
tell me which way you want to go.
Yeah.
And the best thing you do is pray.
Yep.
You pray, that prayer goes up, and guess what? Go to sleep.
Right.
God will fight your battles.
Yeah.
Gotta fight them. You don't have to worry about nothing else.
Oh, yeah. I was just reflecting on that being one of, I think, our turning points in our relationship because now at an early 40s, we're relearning each other all over again. Now that
Wow.
she's here, now I'm seeing her full time when
That's
I'm used
super
to
dope.
seeing
I
her
love
like
seeing it. I think
once every 6 months. And it was an adjustment, believe it or not. Having all of us together again. It was weird. And it took a lot of
It was like strangers.
it was weird. It was just weird.
Because
Really?
I didn't know her.
And I definitely
I'm,
didn't know her.
I'm in the military.
Yeah.
And anytime we would see each other, it was like,
Quick weekend trips.
wow.
because that's
You
what
know?
I usually had 4 days for family days or the Christmas or
So
Thanksgiving.
we get in and we get out. But
Yeah.
now we're like stuck under the same household.
Got you.
We're learning personalities. I'm calling her names. She's calling me all kinds of names. It's like,
Got you.
what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But through this process, we had to go through it to respect each other's space and understand that we're not this. Once again, we're
Boundaries.
not the same.
Boundaries.
Wow.
And as much as she was living in a world of walking a straight path, she did it because that's what she was supposed to do. Now she's in a place like she doesn't give a fuck.
I don't.
Love it.
If Fee goes based off energy, and at this point in my life, if Fee's not feeling the energy, I'm not feeling the energy.
Yeah.
Because I believe my sister. I'm trust and believe. If Fee's it's not right, okay. Hey, let's go.
Listen. Anybody who's an empath, as strong as you are, you got to follow it.
Yeah.
I feel it too. That's what I was telling you about. I was like, yo, that lady was not the same lady
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. Man,
I'm
that
telling
was
you, I don't know
earlier.
guy. I don't know guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's in his forces.
total different person.
Won't he do
But
it?
I like
That's
to say,
awesome.
look, once again, pray,
Yeah.
God,
Yep.
change.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm telling you, different person.
Yes.
And that's the lesson. For mental clarity, for people that
That's
are
right.
not, in the spiritual world, we don't mean to force our beliefs on you, but this is what we believe.
Yes.
I definitely understand in the darkest hours, there is somebody that's there with you. It's
Yes.
Yes.
God. God is the medicine.
Right.
Do I come
God
in
is
the
the
morning?
medicine.
Do I come in the morning?
God is the Percocet. God is
Yes.
the promethazine and everything else they try to give you in your body. That's God, and then he's going to heal that.
That's right.
And just get close to water, man, because water
Yeah.
will help you.
Oh,
I
soothing.
guarantee you they have some
Cleansing.
serenity
Yes.
and some water and just kind of just like woosah,
Oh,
reset.
stop it. You're taking me back to Mexico.
Yes,
Oh, my
there
God.
you go. Go back to Tulum and get it popping.
Yeah, girl, that was a
You
good
know what I
time.
mean? But I
Oh.
think that's the breakthrough that everybody needs, And
Yeah.
I think here at this podcast, they need to feel at the end like
gonna be
something
okay.
that they can do
Yeah.
productively
Yeah.
to get through the breakthrough like you did.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah,
both
Fee. Love you, girl.
For sharing that vulnerability with us.
Just look, it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. Just be self-awareness is all that we care to do here is self-awareness, and it's okay. You're not alone.
It's okay not to be okay, dog.
That's right.
It's okay.
It's okay not to be okay. Just be on God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
got
appreciate you
you.
too, G. You know what I'm saying? All the mothers that you're gonna bless.
Yeah.
Going through the mental clarity that you went through, having the babies like that, you know what I'm saying? And look, man, we hear y'all.
Yeah.
The YBME podcast. This is episode 2.
Yes.
Please like, share, subscribe, tell somebody about this greatness. Go get the merch.
Yes.
And man, y'all bless up,
YBME
man.
family.
YBME family,
Yeah.
man. Let's get it. Hey, I just want to say thank y'all for allowing me to be a co-host.
And thank you.
We love you,
Thank
Dream.
I appreciate
Yay.
y'all. All right, y'all. We out of here. Dream Motivate. Let's get it.